Welcome to Obstacle Running Adventures.
It depends on how the race is built, but like to help prevent like stacks or like big weight lines,
Yeah.
the band
Queuing,
system
as
is
they say there. Yeah.
queuing. Yes, a lot of queues.
Yeah. So big news. I'm sure you've heard of this with the whole Tough Mudder Infinity in Saudi Arabia.
Hmm.
Biggest prize money, this and that. And it only took me a few moments to think of the whole moral issues that come with that. I was told by someone that you have some thoughts on this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for the sport growing and getting more venues and more money. I think we also need it depends on who you ask and what you're willing to compromise. Some of the issues that Saudi Arabia has had in the past and still has actively going on do not make me think it's a great idea to have brands associate with them, especially with brands like Tough Mudder that are so progressive
Yes.
and vibrant, if you will. Like I would say they are an ally as a brand. Whereas if you look at Saudi Arabia in general, that is about as far from an ally as you can get, or even just women's rights in general.
Yeah. So every week we put out, or when we remember, we put out like a poll of the week, and we just want to see the community's thoughts on things happening in the OCR community. And I don't have it pulled up right now, but it was very much I asked like, does the money outweigh the morals? Is it kind of even, or is it, the vice versa? And largely the community said um, that the money is not worth the morals. And yet again, most of the people voting aren't going to be getting this money too, but it's difficult to for like the athletes are trying to make a living, they need to make money. So part of me doesn't blame them for going. I more blame the company for letting this be a thing in general. Like where do you place the blame? Like what are your thoughts on that as an athlete?
I'd say both of them. I mean, as an athlete, it's you also can like we all have our own individual brands. My brand would be one where I would not go to Saudi Arabia to race for money. I certainly would not bring my wife along. Uh, Abu Dhabi and Dubai is kind of on that realm. They're not nearly as bad, but like they still have a large history of those same instances. And I did go and race there, and there were problems. Many of the women felt harassed. Many of them felt like there was individuals shouting at them from ATVs while we were in at the race venue, making them feel uncomfortable and unsafe. So it is on definitely both parties, and they have a choice. Like Tough Mudder sent all these invites out. The athletes can say no or they can say yes. Like it's not like, oh, you're mandated to go. And Tough Mudder also has a choice, and that's I don't know if it goes all the way to the top of Spartan and Joe for that decision, or if it is the leaders of Tough Mudder and didn't make it up higher. So I don't know, and I don't know if it from what I've heard it also is a completely independent. It's the franchise of
Yes.
Saudi Arabia's Tough Mudder, and it's not necessarily um, Tough Mudder International leading it.
Right. So let's delve into it a little bit more too when, you know,
Well, actually, I have a thought on that.
yeah.
That may take away the decision of Tough Mudder. So, like, yes, Tough Mudder International may be doing it, but that franchise could already be existing.
Fair.
And so that may be where it comes from. So it may not even been Tough Mudder's decision. It would
And
have been.
their money would be independent of those brands too, I believe. Is what
Yes,
is right.
that's my understanding. Yep.
So I know you have like a list here. Let's talk about some of the things that like specifically is like, oh, like, the Middle East isn't that bad, don't be like ethnocentric. There are some things that are just, you know, they're just wrong. So
One of the things I didn't know about, because I had pulled up Saudi Arabia human rights violations. Torture is used as a punishment, and that's actually on here twice. Uh, Torture is used in punishment, and then torture in police custody is common. So if you get arrested, expected to be tortured, um, you can be arrested and detained for no good reason. So then you can then be tortured. Uh, I mean, we have religious discrimination that's like everywhere. Um, many human rights organizations are actually banned from going there
Wow.
to try and help people. Uh, we know women are widely discriminated against. That's
Right.
built into
And
our
just to
culture.
add on to that too, I believe like they only just were within like the year were able to drive themselves. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure like this is a very, very recent development for them.
Um, this says executions are on the increase, which is dozens of people being executed in the state every year. Many of them are public beheadings.
Mhm.
So that seems a bit dark ages.
Right. And it's I imagine they are doing this to encourage like tourism. Please come to our country. What they could also do is modernize a little bit. Like
Yeah,
just like
yeah,
think why don't people want to come to our country? There's good reasons.
yeah.
You
And I mean, they have a lot of money, so they are trying to find avenues to help grow their tourism,
right
without
through other
necessarily.
sports as well. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. This is across the board, like UFC. Um, you look at soccer, like any number of these things.